What's up, everybody? It's your coach Jaron here with Forge, and today we will be going over the dead pin press. Now, this variation is different than many of the other bench variations in that it requires us to build starting strength and speed off the bottom, which again seems to be a common theme across all of the main bench variations. But this one is unique in that rather than having the benefit of built up kinetic energy through the elastic tension of lowering the bar, in this variation, we're going to start from a dead stop at the bottom of the press. This is going to be great for teaching you proper position and alignment at the most crucial part of the lift, as well as creating the power to overcome a completely static position through the dynamic use of force. That being said, let's learn that variation today. To perform the dead pin press, we're going to want to be in a power rack with the safety pins set at the height to where when we're in our full setup, we're not compressed by the bar. I should have to actively arch and tighten my back into position the same as I would do if I were setting up for a standard bench press and lowering the bar down to my chest. We want to get it as close to chest height as possible because we're trying to closely replicate the position and range of motion of our standard bench press. The difference with the dead pin press as opposed to the regular variations is, again, we haven't lowered the bar down to our chest. So in order to get the bar to move, if the weight is selected appropriately, we have to have proper alignment, stacking, and tension to drive the bar off the chest. You'll learn very quickly that if your wrists and shoulders and elbows are not in a line, you won't have the strength to press the bar because you're fighting gravity and you simply will not be able to get it to move. So you'll have to learn how to find all of that tension in your body for the bar to leave the pins. We can train with the pins at different heights depending on your sticking points, but for most people, especially raw benchers, training the dead pin press with a full range of motion and the bar set at chest height is going to be the most effective. Now, while the dead pin press can be done for multiple reps in sets of, say, 3 reps at a time, I've found over time that it is simply better to train this variation with sets of 1. That's because the lowering phase between the reps, if you're doing multiple reps, still will give you some of that benefit of the kinetic energy from lowering the bar and makes it easier with each subsequent rep after the first one. That being the case, I like to do sets of 1 with anywhere from 30 to about 60 seconds worth of rest in between for anywhere from 8 to about 12 total sets, or 8 to 12 total singles. This way, we can allow enough rest between the reps that we're dissipating that kinetic energy and having to truly fight the bar off the pins every single rep, but we can still accumulate an appropriate amount of volume to get the most out of the lift. The lift can also be used as a main movement on a max effort workout, but I don't typically recommend or program this for other people unless they're already fairly advanced, as that level of strain and output in a full range of motion without the added benefit of having lowered the bar can pose a higher risk for the shoulders if done incorrectly. So I wouldn't recommend that unless you're already a skilled bench presser and you're already familiar with this variation and put some time in just working the moderate weight singles for volume.